I mean, I can't tell people what to post or what to say. But Nicki Minaj damn sure needs to stay away from anything, posting anything about kids, trans or otherwise. She supports a dude that is on the Epstein list 1,000 times. She's actually married to a registered sex offender, a pedophile. She shouldn't be able to watch Jason Kidd or listen to Kid and Play or New Kids on the Block. Hell, she got to walk around the aisle with Cabbage Patch Kids on it. And she damn sure should stay away from Sour Patch Kids. And it ain't Governor Newsom Nicki needs to be worried about. It's Chris Hansen.
Speaking to the Barbs and the Barbs only, but I'm speaking to the Barbs that have common sense. Can you explain why Nicki would end up supporting Charlie Kirk's wife and his legacy and go on and why is she taking this whole turn with Trump and stuff? Can you just explain to me why? And I don't need you to comment dumb stuff.
Y'all, the rap girlies are at it again, and this time it has nothing to do with chart positions, diss tracks, or kids being dragged into the mix. The latest chaos kicked off after Nicki Minaj openly confirmed what fans had been side-eyeing for a while, that she's leaning full MAGA, and the internet immediately went into a frenzy. Now, no shade, because everyone is entitled to their own political views and personal beliefs. But the issue for many fans isn't what Nicki believes, it's how she's been moving since making it known. The timing, the tone, and the way she's doubled down has left a lot of longtime supporters confused, disappointed, and quietly logging out of the Barbs fan club. Social media has been ruthless, and you can already tell this shift is costing her public goodwill. Meanwhile, her critics are watching it all unfold like it's primetime television, because from their perspective, this looks like a self-inflicted spiral. And yes, Cardi B's name keeps popping up in the background of the conversation. According to people close to Cardi, she isn't surprised at all and allegedly feels like this outcome was inevitable. The whispers say Cardi has always believed Nicki's public image would eventually take a hit due to personal choices and who she chose to align herself with, especially when it comes to her marriage. Again, this is all speculation, but fans are connecting dots and revisiting old moments with a new lens. What once felt like random controversies now feel, to some, like part of a bigger pattern. Whether this MAGA moment is a phase, a permanent shift, or just another chapter in Nicki's long career remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the rap girlies aren't fighting over music right now, they're fighting over perception, loyalty, and legacy. And the internet is watching every move.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact.
Nicki Minaj diving into politics lately definitely hasn't gone unnoticed, and what's shocking a lot of people is how much her stance seems to have flipped. She has now openly positioned herself as a Trump supporter, which feels like a complete 180 from where she stood just a few years ago. Back in 2020, Nicki was publicly critical of Trump, especially when it came to his anti-immigration policies, and she made it very clear that she had no intention of hopping on the Trump bandwagon. At the time, she spoke openly about how those policies impacted marginalized communities and why she couldn't support leadership rooted in exclusion. She also didn't hold back when discussing Trump's attitude toward women, once calling him a prime example of misogyny in the entertainment and political space. Nicki even suggested that he was the type of man who surrounded himself with young women to boost his ego and appear relevant. Fast forward to now, and fans are understandably confused about what changed. The contrast between her past criticism and her current alignment has people revisiting old interviews, tweets, and statements, trying to make sense of the shift. Whether this change is rooted in personal growth, influence from her inner circle, or something else entirely is still up for debate, But one thing is certain, Nicki's political turn has sparked serious conversation and left many longtime supporters questioning where she truly stands now.
But what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it. But you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny. Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And it's just not fair.
What makes this whole situation even wilder is that this is the same Nicki Minaj who dropped a freestyle remix referencing Trump back in November 2016, barely a month after he was elected. And now she's turning around, calling him one of the best things to happen to America. Fans started noticing the shift when Nicki began positioning herself closer to MAGA talking points, especially when she spoke publicly about alleged Christian persecution in Nigeria. At the time, the Barbs rushed to her defense, saying she was simply speaking on an issue she cared deeply about, and to be fair, Nicki has shown love to Nigeria on multiple occasions before. But things really started to heat up when she went after California Governor Gavin Newsom following the passage of a law that prevents schools from being forced to disclose a student's preferred name or pronouns to parents without the student's consent. The law was meant to protect students who may not feel safe at home, but conservatives immediately pushed back, arguing that parents should always be informed. Nicki jumped into the debate with a tweet criticizing the policy, suggesting that leaders should prioritize children being healthy, safe, and happy. Once again, her fanbase defended her, saying she was speaking as a mother who wants to stay involved in her child's life. However, the real turning point came when Nicki appeared smiling and proud at a Turning Point USA event in Phoenix as a featured guest speaker, while other Black creators associated with the organization weren't given the same platform. With Candace Owens distancing herself from Turning Point USA, many believe the organization is eager to elevate another high-profile Black figure, and Nicki's fame and influence make her an ideal candidate. At that moment, what some fans once dismissed as isolated opinions started to look like a much clearer political alignment.
Donald Trump could say, "You're fired." Let Martha Stewart run her company the same way and be the same way. Oh, evil. But Donald Trump, he gets to hang out with young and have 50 different wives and just be cool. Oh, Donald, we love you. Donald Trump. But
when fans saw Nicki sitting on that stage repeating talking points they had never heard from her before, the reaction was instant confusion, like, are we really watching Annika Tanya marriage up there with Erica Kirk? To many viewers, it felt like she crossed a line, especially with comments that came off as openly transphobic, which shocked people considering a large portion of her fanbase comes from the LGBTQ community. Naturally, backlash followed, and longtime supporters were genuinely upset. Almost immediately, speculation started swirling about why Nicki would make such a sharp political pivot, and a lot of fingers pointed toward her husband, Kenneth Petty. Since they got together, critics say controversy has followed them, with the most recent reports involving Nicki being sued for $500,000 after an alleged altercation where Petty reportedly punched a security guard during an argument overseas. For years, people have shaded Nicki over her husband's criminal past, saying it's a stain that never fully goes away. And some believe her sudden political alignment could be an attempt to help him clear his record or avoid ongoing registration requirements when traveling. Others also brought up her brother, Jelani Marriage, who was convicted in 2017 for crimes involving his minor stepdaughter and later sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2020. Since then, his repeated appeals have reportedly been denied, leading some to speculate that Nicki may be trying to leverage influence to help her family. But another theory suggests this move is about self-preservation. Although Nicki has lived in the US since childhood, she was born in Trinidad and Tobago and is a legal permanent resident, not a citizen, meaning she can't even vote. She's previously complained about how difficult the citizenship process is, and with immigration rhetoric intensifying and scrutiny increasing, even for green card holders. Critics believe cozying up to MAGA politics could be her way of securing protectee.
Nicki Minaj has gone full-blown MAGA on Twitter, or X, right? And I think it's because she's scared of deportation. She is starting to get worried with this immigration policy because, mind you, she's been in the United States since she was 5 years old and she's still not a citizen. And pre-COVID, she even talked about how hard it is to get citizenship in this country. You can be a multi-millionaire, you can be a celebrity, and it's still a hard process to get citizenship. It's easier just to renew your green card, right? She has gone so far to turn against her own fan base. She literally, the LGBTQ is like her ride or dies, right? They do all her dirty work for her, right? And she went on to say that trans people are not normal.
Nicki Minaj's husband being a convicted offender and her brother's criminal history made a lot of people check out a long time ago, so her full MAGA pivot didn't shock everyone. Were you surprised? Or did you see this coming? Drop your thoughts, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next video.